Hello there, and welcome back to the show. We have made it to the finale. The series is all wrapped up, and what a great ride it has been. I've absolutely loved it. I loved the finale. I loved how it wrapped everything up. Um, I do want to say, Taylor, before I jump into anything else, that last week on the show, when we were talking about it, I did say that I thought there was a lot of things that the show needed to wrap up. I kind of want to backtrack on that. Um, I should have pulled up my tweet that I tweeted out. But I was thinking about it. I was kind of talking about it with my girlfriend. And the more I thought about it, I thought about what the show was really, really about. And the show was really about Wanda, her grief, and Vision. And I came to the conclusion that a lot of those things that I thought needed to be wrapped up, they didn't need to be wrapped up. The only thing that we needed to see in the finale of this show was Wanda accepting the loss of Vision, accepting her grief, dealing with it, and then basically moving on. And we got that, and I thought that it was done in a very beautiful way, and I absolutely loved the show, loved the ending, and that's my little spiel. What'd you think of the ending, Taylor?
I man, for me, I liked it in parts.
Right?
Boy, I'm kind of like 50-50 right now. There are things
That's
I
okay.
really enjoyed about this episode, and in this other part of this episode, I was really kind of frustrated. And I'll kind of explain more about this later on, but yeah, I will definitely I'll definitely explain as much as I can about how I felt about this particular episode today. I mean, there's some good things, and there's definitely some things I think definitely need to have a good discussion about, because there was a lot of things that I felt were kind of left out, and I really want to explain that too later on during this review, because I was a little bit like, ooh. But yeah, all right. Anyways, let's get ready for the beginning.
I will also say that I get the chance to watch it as many times as I usually watch it. And the times that I watched it, I've watched it 3 times. The second and third times I had a notebook in my hand. I was going to take notes. And I did take some notes, but I found myself just losing myself in the show and just kind of enjoying it, enjoying the wrap up of everything. But yeah, we'll kick it off. We basically start where we ended in episode 8, almost making episode 8 and 9 like a part 1 and part 2. We come back right with Agatha having the 2 kids, kind of in a hostage situation and facing off against, I guess we can call her the Scarlet Witch now.
Yep, definitely at that part.
And one thing, I did take notes on this part. Here, we start to get the hint that, and it becomes obvious later on, but she does say something here where, like, she is trying to draw off of Wanda's magic her chaos magic. She's trying to basically take all of Wanda's magic.
Yep. She definitely is trying to. Yeah, she's definitely stealing it as much as he possibly can. Throughout the whole episode. But yeah, right, definitely in that beginning when she's throwing, when Wanda is throwing the her supercharged power at her, and she first takes the hit, lets the kids go, and then then she's just absorbing as many of the hits from Wanda as she takes.
Yeah,
that was pretty interesting.
I loved when Wanda threw the car at Agatha. It was kind of a throwback to. I know I've seen her throw a car in one of the earlier movies. I think it might be Civil War, but I'm not positive. Might have been Age of. In one of the movies, she threw. I remember her throwing a car. But after the car scene, when Wanda walks up on the car, and you just and you see the two legs sticking out from the car, which is an obvious like reference to Wizard of Oz, and that was just a great reference right there.
I thought kind of gave you maybe 3 references because for some odd reason it reminded me exactly from Spider-Man 2, from Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, with the car going through the window. It's just, for some odd reason that also threw that reference in there to me.
Oh yeah,
like it was a little nod to Sam Raimi, and then also the Wizard of Oz, with the 2 boots being left over there. Yeah, I thought that was great. I did enjoy that scenery where she looks down and she's like, "Huh, where did she go? She left her boots here."
right.
Oh, that was great. I like that scene. I really liked the trickery.
And then we get White Vision shows up, and it was a creepy scene because Wanda's like, "Vision, is that you?" Then like he grabs her and like starts to crush her head. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that was very intense, especially when the way he grabs her, and then not only does he grab her like holy crap, but he starts to really crush her. Like crushing her head like that, but it was just like, whoa, like it happened really. Yeah, that was happening really fast, and
it was one of those things where like it happened really fast, but like it was like slow in the same instant.
Yeah, they were slowing the camera down, doing kind of this. It felt, boy, I want to say, kind of like a. Geez, am I trying to say Terminator here or something? One of those kind of like movies where it was just like it had that great split second of just kind of like just all of a sudden being kind of a horror film, and
well, it made me think of being a Game of Thrones fan. It made me think of. Have you seen Game of Thrones? I don't want to ruin anything for you.
No, don't worry about it. I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of things about Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I mean, I am going to eventually sit down and watch it. So, no biggie. I've heard a lot of things about it. But,
it reminds me of the scene where, oh gosh, I can't. But Pedro Pascal's character in Game of Thrones, I can't think of his name right now. But he's fighting in this trial of combat, and the one of the characters, just a big old dude, like crushes his head, and that's what I thought of. But like actually crushes his head. But
Right.
Hex Vision comes and saves the day and knocks White Vision off of Wanda.
Yes.
And then so I guess we can talk a little bit about you know, skip around just a little bit, kind of talk about the two fights that are going on.
Okay.
And the Vision on Vision fight was awesome. I really loved it how they were both phasing in and out of each other, and like there's this one point where they both land and create this crater, and then Hex Vision is trying to fly off, and White Vision just grabs him by the leg and like pulls him back. A lot of that aerial fight between Vision and Vision, I really liked. What's your thoughts on the Vision versus Vision?
No, I liked it. For the part of like the idea was, it reminded me of Superman 3. That's what they were trying to do. I thought that little part of the reference was really cool. However, I want to say I was a little bit. My feeling on it was a little bit disappointing because I like. Okay, here's the thing. I like to see that, but a lot of the action for that particular fight scenes that they show it happened really fast for Vision. It was almost like 20 seconds or something. Like, usually like a fight scene like that is usually like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And those two guys only fought for like, I swear, like 20 seconds or something like that before and
it was cut up in between.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
It was
this is the big moment between White Vision and the Hex Vision, and they just kind of like, here's a couple blast moments and here's a couple punch moments, and then it's gone, and then it's just back to Wanda and Harkness fighting, and I was just like, what? This is a moment for Vision here. Don't and they just kind of cut that off, and I was a little bit bummed with. I mean, the little bit that we saw, sure, was cool. I mean, I enjoyed that, but I was just a little bit bummed that they didn't get a chance to kind of extend that a little bit more. That was a little bit of a bummer for me.
Right. I can see that you wanted more. I can see that. My thought on it would be is that it is a television show. This was the longest episode, by far, almost doubled. But I see your point there. Could have used a lot more. But what did you think about the whenever they had their little philosophical discussion about the ship? I forget what it's called, something ship.
When they're having this after their little fight scene, the discussion part was fantastic. I enjoyed like that part was written really well, and that I did enjoy. I thought that was very philosophical, very Vision helping him out, saying, look, I might not, I have some of the memories, but I don't have the whole true memories. You have more of the memories programmed because something of having the machine code or something like that. But I enjoyed those talk. I enjoyed him importing what he had for memories to White Vision, and the ultimately having White Vision become the True Vision again, in a sense, like a rebirth, basically. Yeah, no, I thought that scene was written well. I thought that scene was very beautiful. I did like that scene. I cannot lie. I did enjoy that scene. So before, I mean, just before getting to that scene, though, I just wish there was a lot more a conflict there.
Yeah.
Like at least had that conflict be Drake. But yeah, no, going to that scene was perfect though. I can't lie on that. That was very that was very good.
And I do think that I do think that that's a fair criticism, that you definitely wanted more of the Vision on Vision fight, but I definitely would have wanted more too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my notes are really, really horrible for this episode. Before the Vision fight, we do get a short scene with Monica being trapped with Pietro.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I think maybe, like one of my complaints maybe about the show on a whole is there's a couple like parts that just seem like useless to me, like Evan Peters as Pietro. I don't really understand why.
Oh yeah, that was once they revealed that part, that was heartbreaking. But no, but before that though, like she does go, she's trying to warn well actually, yeah, so just when Vision hit White Vision and you see Wanda's just gonna go right after Harkness, she's trying to let Wanda knows about Harkness, but yeah, Pedro shows up. He's like, you're gonna keep quiet, and that's about it. I mean, they had a little bit of, it was kind of this quick little throw off kind of a scene, and that's it for that little bit.
Yeah.
Before they get more into the kind of somewhat fight, where that goes next with Wanda.
So I know there was more in between this, but the next thing I wrote down was it is the Darkhold. And there's stuff about the Scarlet Witch in the Darkhold.
Was okay. That's the reference to the book, right? Is that what?
Yeah, that's the book that Agatha had in her, and we didn't necessarily know that it was the Darkhold, but in this scene, Agatha names it the Darkhold, and we know it's the Darkhold now.
Right. Yep. That's right. I remember her saying that, and the book was showing up when she was saying that. That was pretty cool. Kind of a cool effect. Kind of reminded me. I don't know. I guess what would you say? Kind of a reference to maybe the first Mummy movie, a little bit from the Brendan Fraser one. Just the way the book appears, like from the like kind of like that kind of cool effect of ash, like that kind of a, I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
the way the book appears.
No, yeah, I really like that scene, and just on that note, I really liked how Agatha and Scarlet Witch's movement in the air was.
Yeah,
it felt smooth. It smelled. It felt really witchy like.
Yeah. No, I thought the their scene was, it did feel that, but it also felt, would you say a little bit? Do you think they kind of took a little bit from Zack Snyder, a little bit there, like a little bit of Man of Steel? I mean, not quite, but I mean, had a little bit of it there, a little bit of a taste.
Not really, because I mean, if anything, I saw more of like Man of Steel in like the Vision on Vision fight. Like when I see like they're almost, Scarlet Witch, whenever she takes off, she has her hands down. Like that's what's her magic is actually coming from her hands propelling her. And Agatha almost a little bit different. It's like her outfit is where her magic's coming from the bottom of it. I don't know.
Well, I was just gonna say, like when they're fighting, though, like there's that one moment. Yeah, I mean, she's using Wanda's using her hands to like fly up and all that stuff. Yeah, like that. There's a difference, but I mean, I noticed when they're kind of fighting, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, like when how much is it? Like she's kind of fighting General Zod a little bit, like, you know. Not quite, but I mean, there's a little bit of that little, like them as they're flying. To me, kind of had that little bit of that reference, like the little bit of that, when they're fighting up in the cloud area for a little bit before it kind of went all, I don't know what do you want to call it, like, shoot, I was trying to think of the other rough, like. Kind of like, well, a little bit of, I don't know if you ever watched like DBZ from like any of the anime kind of stuff. Kind of had a little bit of that to it.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, while we're talking about it on a whole, I did think that the Agatha versus Scarlet Witch fight was a little lackluster. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, I really like the part where Wanda vanished and then snuck up behind her and then used her little mind trick on Agatha to take her back to like Salem, the Salem memory. I wish there was more of that instead of I guess I'm kind of like on the opposite of you. Like I liked the Vision versus Vision fight, and I thought it was, a good amount of it. I being that this is a show focused on Wanda, is Wanda and Vision, but really the main character is Wanda. Like I thought that the Wanda versus Agatha fight could have had more like magic-y stuff. Like really, we saw a lot of flying around.
Yeah, pretty much. When it comes to them fighting, yeah, there was a little bit of just them fight, like them flying, and then, I mean, she's throwing powers at Harkness. Harkness is absorbing it, or she's throwing a little bit back at Wanda, and then Wanda's hands are starting to turn like clay or kind of decaying or something there. And
yeah, they're just getting the power drained from them.
Right. So she's getting that taken away from her. Yeah, and as far as the Salem part, yeah, that was a cool part. But again, it was one of those things that it was cool, but it it was weird. It was almost like that was cut down as well. Um it was too short, and it didn't really explain anything either. It was just like just to say she's the Scarlet Witch, and that felt to me that like that was it. And it was like there was more. I thought there was gonna be a little bit more to that, a little bit, but yeah, they definitely they definitely cut that scenery down or something. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's all we're getting from that. Oh, okay. So I
Right.
was like, yeah. So I mean, there was a little bit of that. Yeah, we see her powers draining, um, and still fighting. You know, still being tough with her powers. And it was all, and I think Harkness was also trying to actually throughout the whole episode too. I don't know if you noticed too, but like Harkness she was trying to talk to Wanda as well. It was almost like to prove that she's got an agenda, but also she's not really a villain, that she was kind of this gray character the whole time. And so I so that's where I've also kind of like gonna start showing some frustration there, because it's like it's interesting, but she's also if you notice, like she was almost trying to help Wanda, like um about understanding the power, or
Yeah, I think it was. I think I think Agatha was inadvertently helping Wanda, kind of like how, like at the end of the fight scene, Wanda's,
yeah,
blasting, and she keeps on missing. And there's actually one shot where Agatha's like, that wasn't even close. What are you doing? And you know, Wanda's powers are hitting the hex, and, you know, and they keep on fighting and fighting. And then finally Agatha like drains everything out, and come to find out that, these blasts that Wanda was sending at the hex walls, she was actually putting up runes to, the same way Agatha locked down Wanda's power in her basement. Um, Wanda was able to lock down Agatha's powers within the whole hex. And she learned that from Agatha. And, um,
right,
I do think in this series, I think, in my view on it, is that she is a villain. She's basically trying to she's trying to do the same thing she did to the witches back in Salem, drain all of their power, take all of their power.
right,
She's trying to
yeah,
do that same thing to Wanda.
yeah. She is trying to take that power, but yeah, I don't know. It was like, yeah, she wants to take the power from her, but at the same time, she just kept like warning her as well. So it was kind of just, for me, it was a little bit, I don't know, it was just kind of off-putting or something. It was just not, I guess, yeah, it just felt like she was too, like both of them were both kind of great characters. They weren't really hero or villain. They were just two gray women witches that um that didn't really, they just had their own different way, I guess, and it wasn't how do I really put it? It was just like yeah, I just want you to see this, what what's going on, and then again, like that's another. It just you don't completely get Harkness's story, and without getting her side of the story, it just felt kind of like that they kind of just threw her out, kind of, and it just didn't. You get all the Scarlet Witch part of the story now, but you don't quite get all of Harkness's story, and how Harkness and Wanda could be, I guess, in the weird sense, could be a team. But I don't know. It just, I just was kind of bummed that they just kind of threw Harkness off in kind of a sideline way on that, and I think there should have been more on getting Harkness's story out there first, and then as far as the fight scene
Well,
between those two go, you know, that's just what I saw, or the side that I'm trying to see from there.
well, the kind of the way I see it, I guess, is that I guess in kind of in a lot of stories, you know, we don't always get the full story of the villain
Yeah,
or the antagonist.
yeah, yeah,
But we get enough, and I think, knowing that, that she is a witch, and we didn't necessarily know it at the time, but that she is a witch that absorbs power from other witches,
right,
and we see it a lot in this episode where she keeps on telling Wanda, just give me the power and
right.
I'll give you that life that you were trying to create. you know she's after that power,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
really wants. you know
yep, yeah. That, well, I mean, yeah, I agree. I see that sense where that part is where she is the villain, but at the same time, they just kind of also just keep showing her that she's also this great character, because right during that fight scene too, she's also like showing Wanda, but like, oh, that you're in control of the people in this town, and showing the that the people that Wanda's controlling them, even though she's like, no, I'm not controlling these like this, and she's like, look at look at the power on their necks or whatever, and then she's like, oh, I'm not, so that I thought that was interesting with the conflict between what Harkness was showing her with the people,
yeah
and how her reactions about that were like, no, like she was sorry about it and she didn't mean for it to happen that way. um I thought that was an interesting scenery as well, to kind of show like, well, maybe even our hero here is kind of not complete, I guess, not completely a hero right here. She's kind of almost a villain, not, but I mean, obviously not quite, but um has like this like moment, and it's like, I also thought the scenery of that was pretty powerful. Because they're coming after her, and then it's when the triggers the kids to come help their mother right there as well.
Oh yeah, I like that scene.
That
I think that scene was
with the people.
I think that was Agatha trying to, I guess, like destabilize Wanda.
Might jump into that. Uh-oh.
And
hold on here, so I should.
but
so nerd a lot. Are you hearing me? Or I can't seem to hear.
am I
right
cutting
now.
out
I don't know.
again?
Must be having some internet issues. Okay, so at this moment, the people are coming through and they're like, Wanda, what are you doing to us like this? And Wanda's like, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. And she's like, well, but you did this to me. And Wanda's upset, and she's like, no, I really didn't do this at all. And Artemis is like, no, but you did. You're controlling the people in the hex. And so that's what's all going through right now at the moment, is that they are basically being controlled by Wanda, and they're now being released, or she's seeing that she's got the little spell around their necks, and now they're being released, and so they're all coming after, like, what? Why did you do this to us? And I was like, I didn't mean to. I just wanted to have it as peace in this world. I didn't mean to control you. And they're like, well, I want my kid back, or I, I'm very upset about, I need to see my husband and all this kind of stuff. And Wanda's like, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to keep peace. And then they're like, well, peace for you, not necessarily for us. And Wanda's realizing this, and she's very upset. Oh, and so this stuff is going on like that. And it's a very intense, emotional scene. Prior to that, the kids were in the bedroom because she sent her kids to the bedroom prior before the fight scene. So they had to go to the bedroom, and Harkness was like, "Yeah, go join. Your mom's right. Go to the bedroom because I'm gonna be doing this." And so there's oh, all right. So Nerdlaw.
Hey, what's up? Is that better?
Yeah, definitely. I can hear you and everything. I was like, oh, we lost you for a minute there.
That's okay. I got this computer. It's probably almost 10 years old. I'm getting a new laptop tomorrow though, so everything should be a lot better after next week or something.
Yeah. Nice. yeah, so I
I
was
did
just
jump over
kind of,
to a different browser,
oh, okay.
so maybe that'll help. Um,
Yes, hopefully.
but
Yeah,
what were you talking about?
I was just mentioning about the villagers that they were being possessed under Wanda, and that Harkness was like, I'm not the one that's doing the controlling here, and then the villagers were talking to her about, like, about missing their children, or not seeing their husbands and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And Wanda's getting upset, and she's like, I didn't mean for this. I didn't mean to control you. And then she's upset, and she starts crying. And then I was also saying about, prior to that, she told her kids to go to the bedroom. Harkness said, yeah, go in there, listen to your mother, because then when that scene is happening, the kids, I believe Billy's the one that senses um senses something's, their mom's under distress, and so that they both leave to go join up, to see what's going on, or to at least help her, with the villagers. So yeah, all around, I thought that, that's pretty much what I was just talking about, was the whole villager situation at this moment.
yeah. I do want to add something. I really loved that scene. Because when I put this show in context of what it's actually about, it's about grief. It's about
Yep.
Wanda dealing with her grief, and
Yep.
and one thing that happens with grief, you get so involved in your own grief, and you inadvertently hurt the people around you, whether they're loved ones or that are trying to pull you out of the grief and they just can't. And you inadvertently hurt other people during your grief, especially if it's an uncontrolled grief like we have with Wanda. And I just thought that was just a great kind of metaphor, um further diving into grief and mental anguish, and just another reason why I really love this show.
Yeah, no, I thought this part in the episode was very intense. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this particular scene. Yeah, like you're saying about the grief and the sadness that Wanda is carrying right now. Um, that was really, I thought that part of the scenery was really well done. I thought, yeah,
And
that
I really
was
think that
very
this is her turning point, Wanda's turning point, where and we even see it, right there in that scene. She's like, well, no, I'm going to help you all. And then she starts, she opens the rift into the hex and
right.
tells everybody to run,
Right.
So at this point in
Right.
time, she is, determined to end everything.
Yep. Yeah, that was, yeah, I did enjoy that scenery. I thought that was very well put together. Yeah, she realizes her mistake, so she unbounds them and tells them to run, get out of the hex. She starts to decrease the hex at that moment a little bit. While that's happening, then it jumps into, we see, Hayward, like, all right, the hex is open. Let's get in there now.
Yep.
So they get armored up and they start going in there. And right before that, even too, he had a conversation with the FBI agent, and about,
Yeah, Jimmy
well,
Woo.
actually, yeah, Jimmy was just like, well, I'm gonna let when I get out of this situation, I'm definitely letting everyone know, and they're gonna come after you, put you in jail. And he's like, yeah, for what? I already got Wanda out, so I'm all good here. Basically telling Wu that, and Wu's like, I don't think so. But so Wu gets a little bit creative and steals I believe he steals the cell phone so he could take um the pin or whatever out of there so he can on unhook his um handcuffs later on. And Hayward goes in. He goes in with a full attack to stop Wanda at this point with the white vision. At least the idea of the white vision at that moment in time. Just trying to think anything else about that particular scenery. No, just them talking about just we were talking about like, yeah, I got your files and all that stuff. You can be indicted, that kind of stuff. And
and he tells him, he bluffs about having the FBI already on their way.
Yeah, from Quantico, that was great. And then, then after he handcuffed himself, then that's when he quickly calls his other FBI agent buddy to tell him basically, hey, about the situation that's going on here, and that's pretty much about it from all that scenery. And then
somewhere around here we get the second scene with Evan Peters, Pietro, and Monica, and we learn who Ralph is. Agnes's husband.
Okay, and he was the husband, aka the doppelganger for
right
for Quicksilver, I guess. And so he's being controlled by her too, because he had a necklace on. Harkness is like had a hex necklace on him, and so Monica Rambeau, once she starts utilizing her power, she rips that off of him. As far as that scenery goes, I was very I don't know, I was very disappointed with that, because
I just don't understand. I just don't understand why Evan Peters. Like, could they not get the other guy? I forget his name off the top of my head.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, was he busy or?
Well, he was in. I don't know. Did you see the movie Tenet? Because he was in that movie, so I don't know if they could get him wrong. Maybe there's a schedule conflict. I'm not sure.
That's possible.
But I don't know. I feel like they could have got him in the movie, or in the series. So yeah, I don't know, unless they're trying to save his character, save him for something else in later. It's also possible, but but anyways, Evan Peters, we know that he was in the Fox X-Men universe as Quicksilver, and so they brought him over for this, and it was just disheartening to I think for us X-Men fans, that they're like, well, but by the way, he's really not the real Quicksilver. He's just a dud, and he's just a lookalike from that version, and that's it. And like you were saying, he's also the husband to Harkness.
I do think there is some wiggle room still. I do think that Jimmy Woo's missing person I think that was Ralph Boner. And
Yeah.
I think the reason why he giggles like when he says Boner is because that's his made up name. And I think that's his missing, that's his witness protection name that he came up with, probably himself. Was like, oh, I'm under witness. Can my last name be Boner?
Right. Well, yeah, there definitely could be that. That definitely could be that in the situation
And then,
for sure. It's
and then
possible.
it's not a big jump. Like if he is the guy
Right.
on witness protection, why is he under witness protection?
Right.
Did he move so fast
That's
that
true.
he jumped universes? Is that possible?
Sure. I mean, Quicksilver. I would think that Quicksilver is like Flash in the sense that he could somehow jump multi-universe. So I guess they definitely could utilize that for the future storylines. Sure. I guess I could see that. But I don't. That's the thing. I just don't know if they're going to utilize it on that way, or if they're just going to be like, well, that's just us having, like, yeah, we did this, and that's it, like, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, another thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about X-Men, and them, the possibility of them coming in, and I did a little looking around, and like I found the one thing I kept on seeing was Kevin Feige says that when they have projects, they're working on them 5 years out. So if you think about that, in like 2016, they were fleshing out the idea for WandaVision, probably. They were fleshing out the ideas for Eternals and all these shows that are coming out. And so
right,
I didn't even think about looking for that. When was the Fox deal was made in what, 2019, or was it in 2020? It was 2019, wasn't it?
I think so. I think it was in 2019 because that's when the because when did I'm
The
trying to
Dark
think now,
Phoenix came
because
out.
was it 2019? Okay, yeah, so that makes sense because that was the last one, and the Fox merger, I think. I want to say that happened even before that. So I want to say the merger happened in 2018, or maybe like early 2019, late 2018, and then they just allowed that last movie to come out.
March 2019. 2019.
Right.
Is when the merger was finalized.
Right. Yep. Okay, yep. That makes sense. So so that's when they finalized that, and then they just allowed the last X-Men movie to come out at that time. Yeah. Because they had to let that Fox release out. But yeah, so I mean, I guess they kind of knew that they were gonna get the character. They knew they were gonna get the characters back. So at this moment in time, that they were, I think, I had to believe that they were working on something to give us for X-Men. I mean, as far as what they were going to try and do for,
And then, so I wonder though, so 20, I guess, it's still possible that they had thought of some ideas for bringing in X-Men, but I still think the first, I wholeheartedly believe the first sign or mention of mutant is going to be the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. there's definitely going to be something with that movie that's going to pull in with Scarlet Witch and possibly with um what they're going to do with maybe X-Men and maybe Fantastic Four as well. Maybe. I mean, that's all. Um, it's all up in the air at this
You know
moment in
what?
time. Let's see what they're going to do.
Yeah, we'll get them eventually. And one thing that I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be rushed. I want it to be well thought out and planned.
Yep.
And I want a good, solid entrance for mutants. But
Yeah, me too.
you know what's funny? I just looked down at my notes, and I'm such a child. For that one scene, I wrote Ralph Boner. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that was well. I mean, the way that they kind of did that scene too was kind of a cute child scene, anyways. When
Yeah.
they revealed that, so I mean that it's all fitting. It's that's the way that they wanted to go with that scenery. So it all fits. um, boy, what was
But okay,
okay?
then we get we get a really cool scene where I don't know if we're exactly if I'm skipping anything or anything, but we get this really cool scene that I really liked, where we have the family reunited, the Hex Vision, Wanda, and the twins are all there, and one of the things I always love, I think I said it last week, is very visual stuff, um, like those certain clips of the Marvel movies. Zack Snyder show movies are you can do this a lot with them, but clips of it, little
Mhm.
screenshots that are like that you could just straight up put in one of the comic books, and it would be like perfect there. And this
Right.
little scene with all of them together, it's really close to one of the comic book covers. Um, but
Right.
it was
Yeah.
just really cute. Nothing special happens here or anything, but it was a nice
No.
coming back together with all of them. And then that's when we get Sword coming in, Hayward coming in, White Vision's coming back in, and Agatha. And so like the whole main battle is getting ready to start back up again.
Right. But there is a moment of kind of sadness too, because when Harkness reveals to Scarlet Witch right there though about your your vision is from the stone, and that because theirs from the stone, your kids are also from part of this universe, so they can't make it in the real world. And she
Yeah.
shows that, and you see the kids starting to deteriorate um from it as well, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
very
When after she
powerful scene, an emotional scene as well.
yeah. Yeah, and
And
they keep on going back to the grief. When she saw that, she was not completely ready to let go, even though that she decided that she was going to end the hex and everything. When she saw Vision, and I think especially her children, like she was like, Nope, not quite yet. Like, I want to say goodbye." And then she pulls the hex back.
right, right, yep, yeah, yep, as the hex is being pulled back, and um she allows her kids and Vision to stay put at this moment in time so they can fight, continue to keep fighting Harkness, and then after this part, go on with Sword.
Yeah.
Which by the way, when they were entering the hex, it reminded me a little bit of they were kind of taking a note from Logan, I think, a little bit there as well. Just the way they kind of show up, and then the way they're armed and they're going about their business. I think they kind of took that from Logan to kind of give you that intensity and build up right there as well. I thought that was kind of cool too.
Yeah. And then they're all going to go fight. They're it was Vision flies off to fight White Vision, and I think this is how this goes. And then Wanda looks down at her kids like, "You take care of the military guys. Mommy's going to go deal with something." I thought that was kind of I don't know, cute, funny.
Yeah, I thought that was a good scenery. I mean, you see the boys, we see Tommy stealing the weapons, and you see Billy kind of stopping them. But then Hayward is like, nah. So he pulls out, he starts shooting his pulls out his gun and starts shooting. And right before the bullets are starting to come after the kids, Monica Rambeau shows up and she starts taking the bullets, and Hayward doesn't give a crap at this moment in time. He's still shooting anyways. He doesn't care if even it's hitting Monica, and Monica's definitely taking care of the bullets, and she misses one bullet, but Billy, and it has that moment where you think, oh great, it's going to hit one of the kids, and that's going to be it's going to be one of those upsetting moments, but Billy catches the bullet and is like, no, I got it, it's good. And Monica was happy about that. And then she immediately goes to try to pursue Hayward, but he's like, nope, I'm getting out of here. So he quickly runs, gets in the car, and then or I should say the vehicle, and as he's starting to drive off, Darcy shows up and smashes him, pins him to the side of the building. She's like, you're not going anywhere. You're going to jail. And he's like, oh, and that's pretty much that moment right there.
I just got to say, during when Darcy comes flying in, I just like, the first time I watched it, I just yelled out, "Darcy!"
I think I did the same thing too.
Like perfect time.
Yeah, I was like, yes, perfect. Yeah, I thought that was good too. I did like that scene. I thought that was awesome, and especially with her little comedy bit there, I thought that was perfect.
Yeah,
it added a nice little flavor to what was happening there. I thought that was really good.
See, this is where I started, to get focused in on the show, and I my notes get less and less consistent. So this is where we get the big fight between. This is where we get the conversation between Vision and Vision about the philosophy and metaphysics about which one is actually Vision, which we discussed earlier, and it was really cool. I do have to say I prefer the robot eyes on White Vision rather than the regular eyes. When they gave him the regular eyes, he kind of looks creepy.
Yeah, but I understood that reason
I know
behind that, but
yeah.
it didn't. I was gonna say, but once he did that, though, was White Vision turning into Vision completely? Then, at that moment, like, wasn't he starting to kind of get his colors, or was I just thinking, or was it just the eyes?
Oh, I
'Cause I thought maybe
didn't
like when
catch
he
that. I just
flew,
noticed.
because I want to say when he flew off, I thought maybe he was starting to turn to Vision's colors, but I could be mistaken on that one.
I didn't see it. I've only watched it 3 times. You know, I usually watch these episodes like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I didn't catch that.
Okay. Okay.
But
Well,
like my idea of it is that like he's not completely Vision because
right.
he's still missing the Mind Stone.
Correct.
But
Yep.
now he has some of Vision's memories, so
Right.
he's more Vision now than he was when he came into the Hex, definitely.
Yep. Yep. Completely. So now that's gonna be the interesting part is for his storyline, because with him flying off at the end, it definitely opens up the door what he's gonna try and go do. I'm assuming he's gonna go try and see if he can find another part of the stone that he once had,
Yeah.
or he's going to um I'm trying to think of the
That's going to be
um
interesting. Like the only
yeah,
things that I can
yeah.
think of is like could he play a role in like uh, I don't know. I'm
I think he'll
thinking
be
like
could be like a
I don't
hero
know.
kind of a role. Like I think he's gonna be, well, he'll probably be the guy that's gonna go after Sword for um making the next kind of Ultron base. So maybe he's gonna go after those guys. Kind of like uh almost kind of like a John Wick Vision sort of style kind of thing. Kind of like I'm
Right.
gonna
Yeah.
go after these guys for trying to make me a weapon, and I want them to stop. So, it's possible that they do something like that, maybe. Um,
No,
and
I was
also
like
let
trying to
I
think of like what specific project would he be in? Like I I can't really I can't I so in the comic books like there's a you know a time um after Wanda has her kids and they get taken away again and Vision is White Vision, like they actually separate and they're not together. um
right.
I can't remember specifically what Vision is off doing and what Wanda is doing, but I'm pretty sure Vision goes off into space and like some more of that cosmic stuff. So like maybe he could be in the Thor movie. Maybe he could make an appearance there, but I wouldn't really understand the
I
context of why he would be
yeah,
there.
I don't think he'll be in that one. I think if he is in any of them, maybe there could be two little bits. I could see him being in Captain Marvel 2. Um,
Right?
towards the end or towards the middle of the movie. I could also see him maybe at the end credit scene in Black Panther 2, maybe going to Wakanda and asking about some more of the memories, maybe. I could see that being kind of like an end
Right.
credit scene though. So I think there's a couple, at least those two I could see. And maybe, just maybe, he could be in the Doctor Strange 2 movie, as like a supporting character to with Wanda and Doctor Strange. Maybe not. I don't know, but it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be fun to see. Um, but back to this episode, kind of concurrent with that vision, the discussion scene is whenever Agatha um, and Wanda are fighting, and Wanda's creating the oh, my brain is fried today. The symbols,
The symbol.
I
Yeah.
forget what the symbols, to cancel out Agatha's magic and do all that.
Right.
And then, oh yeah, we haven't talked about that. The full reveal of Scarlet Witch in her new outfit and everything. That
Mhm.
I loved that.
No, I like that too. I thought that was very well done. That looked very it's definitely very modern to the
Yeah.
to Scarlet Witch look. So I did enjoy that. I thought that was very well done. That was very cool and very yeah, definitely making her look like her character, which I appreciated that. Yeah, I think that was the big reveal. That was the very ultimate uh, power source once her costume comes into play. One thing I wanted to mention during the fight scene though, when and this, you can correct me or anything like this on this part, but when Wanda really starts to go full, losing her powers, kind of decaying a little bit, I wonder at one point I, at one point I was wondering if she was going to kind of she almost looked kind of like like one of the demon characters, and I was thinking to myself about that one moment, because I was like, oh, maybe at this point, maybe like Manifesto or one of them is going to come out and say, yeah, you caught me, Harkness, or whatever, like you, um, here's my true identity in this part as well, and then it just
Right. I feel like this series has just done that a lot, where it's just been like little teases, like not enough to be like, oh, we absolutely need an answer to this, but just little enough to kind of tickle our brain.
yeah,
But then it's nothing.
yeah,
After that scene, whenever Agatha is powerless on the ground and Scarlet Witch is talking to her, there's one specific line that Agatha says that kind of has me intrigued for possibly something else. Was, she's on the ground, she's like, you don't know what you've unleashed, you're going to need my help. I don't
Yes.
know if she is talking specifically about the Scarlet Witch's powers in general, or if she's talking about something else, and could that something else be Chthon, or Chthon, which is connected to the Darkhold, or could it be Mephisto or Nightmare? I'm not sure, but
Right.
she does say that.
She does. Yes. So yeah, that definitely left the door open. That obviously there's something demon that's um going to appear, and yes, that she was like, yeah, you're gonna need my help, and then she's like, well, I know where you're gonna be because I'm gonna leave you here, and she brings her back
Right.
as her comedy character that she created. Um,
Yeah.
which is fine because it actually shows that I gotta give one prop, at least in this version. The one thing I did like about this that she doesn't kill the villain or
Yeah.
this, whatever the Harkness is at this moment in time. Does not kill her. She just puts her in a punishment mode, and that's it. Like, and then she's like, "If I need you, I will come back for you." That kind of thing. I thought, okay, that's good. That's a great thing. There's no um, like there's no like I'm gonna snap your neck or anything like that. I thought that was
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
very good, very perfect. I did enjoy that. I was like, you know what, I'm fine with that. I was fine with that being a punishment, and that's it. Um, and then yeah, and then after, well, um, and then what happens afterwards? I call it the emotional ending um, that we're going to talk
Oh
about.
yeah. Yeah. I really like this, because it's Wanda closing out her grief for Vision. Um, you know, and how the way they put the kids to bed, each of them taking turns saying goodnight to one of them. One thing I caught during this scene, um, and when you're in a relationship that with someone that you love dearly, like every chance you get, you kind of brush them or touch them somehow. When they're switching kids, like they like so briefly like hold each other's hands, and then they move on to the kids. And I just thought, I mean, I keep on saying the word beautiful, but it was very beautiful, and it was touching, and it was emotional, and it felt very, all the emotions felt real.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that, not only is it due to, outstanding writing, but the acting of Elizabeth Olsen is um is excellent. I mean, she's
Yeah.
very good, and the line she delivers to the kids,
Yep.
um, "Thank you for choosing me as your mom." As a parent myself, that's just very. It kind of hits you in the feels.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that whole scenery was very. Yeah. It was very. I was um, very emotional, very touching. It made me feel something. It made me feel sad. Um, yeah, it was a very beautiful scene. With how they handled the kids. and the hex is closing, and then how her and Vision have that very strong, intimate ending, where he turns on the light and he said, I think we need to keep the lights on for this moment. I think this is, we need to have this on instead of having it in the dark. And really enjoyed that scenery. I felt a lot of emotion coming from Vision to Wanda, and it was definitely, it definitely did play with how, the feelings of sadness um
and
but
really
done in a
they
very good
keep
way.
on like not and they keep on knocking it out of the park with these like very memorable lines.
Yeah,
The last episode, episode 8, we had the line, but what is grief but love persevering, which is absolutely beautiful. It's freaking poetry. It's
yeah,
great. And then this episode, we get freaking, we've said goodbye before, so it only seems logical we'll say hello again. And
right.
it's pretty.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
It's
no, I agree.
and then like how when the hex is closing in on them, um really cool how like it's kind of coming from like third person point of view from the hex and closing in on the house, and then like zooms in on on Wanda and Vision, and it starts circling them, and they're going back through all the time periods that they went through, and very very emotional soundtrack to this part. And then that oh, what did he say? See you around, darling, or
Um, it was like yeah, I'll see you. We'll see each other again. I think something around the lines of I want to say like something like he says like thank you, I think, and then like we'll see each other again, and then yeah, basically that was it. Um, when the when she gets when all her powers goes back into her, the whole hex. I mean,
right?
um, and then yeah, and then once all that happens, I mean, she gets out of the house when it's all done, and she's walking on the streets, and we see the villagers, and they're like scared, basically, maybe even angry
Yeah.
at her for sure for doing what she did. And then she had a nice little comment. They had a nice little talk with Monica, and about the hey, I get what you're trying to do. Thanks for not thinking I was completely a bad guy and all this kind of stuff. I thought that was good. I thought it was a good scenery, and then we just see Wanda fly off and to go figure out where her power. Well, basically telling Monica that I'm gonna go try to figure out my powers because I still don't understand. I don't quite really understand them yet. And
Right.
you see her flying off at the end, kind of taking a look back and then flying off, and then the that's the true ending to the episode. And then of course we get we get a double after credits scenes.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the mid credit scene. Monica Rambeau and Monica is admiring Jimmy Woo's authority and how he's using it, and another agent wants to talk to her in the back room, and it's a scroll, and she said someone wants to have a meeting, and someone heard that you were grounded and wants to meet with you. And she like points to the sky. Oh. And so yeah, there has been a connection to scrolls all along. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this time that's my bad. I guess my internet something on daywire there. So I guess I missed what what did you start talking about the mid credit scene there, or
the mid credit scene? Yep. So so we get a scroll.
yes,
And the scrolls ask, telling Monica that and see, I'm kind of questioning why they're being cryptic on this at this point. Like, who else is going to be up in the sky, and who else is a he? Like, just say it's Nick Fury, right?
Well, I took it that it was the other one, the other scroll, the man. I can't think of his
Was it
saying
like
the actor.
Loris or something? Loros
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like
I
that?
think so. Yeah, I think that's who's going to talk to her. I'm sure Nick is also going to talk to her too, but yeah, I think that's. I felt like that was the going to be the connection, but I could be wrong.
No.
It could be just Nick Fury too.
I think either way, I think it's a sign that she is probably going to be in the Secret Wars show that's coming down the road.
for sure. I most likely. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I also think that they're definitely setting something open with her and Agent Jimmy. That I think he's gonna have a big role helping out her on the force. I'm assuming they're probably gonna make him a sword agent.
Right. Well, there was I don't know if it's a internet myth or not, but there's like a tweet out there, that somebody, the first tweet that somebody posted saying that there needed to be a Jimmy Woo, Darcy Lewis, X-Files style Marvel show.
Yeah.
Where they're going around solving all these little mysteries, and like the myth is, or somebody put it out there that person that posted that original idea got a phone call, was like, hey, pitch us an idea. So maybe that might happen.
I mean, that's right. Sure. anything can happen in this phase of in the Marvel universe right now, and yeah, I look, I think between him and Darcy, I think they could definitely be helping these characters out in this universe. Like they definitely can be the I guess the uncover as you speak, the uncover the mystery between them being the heroes and the villains that are out there. So yeah, I definitely could see something like that what they're doing. Um, yeah, I can see that happening.
But moving on to the
Yeah.
the post credit scene with
Yes.
Wanda living in the country, um, drinking her tea, minding her own business, while what I thought was she was astral projecting, just like Doctor Strange did in his movie,
Yep.
studying the Darkhold.
Yep. And
And go
we
ahead.
hear her. Well, we hear one of the kids screaming, like as she's astral projecting. She's reading the book, and all of a sudden you hear one of the kids screaming for her, yelling for her, as you know, screaming mom. And so then she looks, and then that's how they end the episode. Um, as far as that
So
goes,
on
unless
this
there's another
part,
one. Yeah.
like when it like flashes at the end there, like did you see like two eyes like come in like bright through the red?
Oh,
Like it almost like looked like two fiery eyes. I don't know if I'm just reaching here, but
I saw. Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of the yeah, like a lot of the firepower that she was using. I guess I didn't directly see him as eyes, but yeah. Oh well,
red.
actually, I take that back. Yeah, I could see that being
It,
like eyes, or because they were kind of like the idea was like helping her. I'm assuming reading all the book material.
yeah.
Okay. Um,
What one thing like the one thing that I I noticed during, she's sitting there and, and she has, there's magic on her hands, and, the book is floating there in front of her, and, she's magically turning the pages. But in the shot, I should have took a screenshot. Dang it. Like one of these days, I'm gonna be super. When I get my new computer and I can do a lot more stuff, I'll get prepared and stuff for these things. But like when you see her there, like she's got her red on her hands, on both of her hands, and there's red on the book, but there's these little like globes of red, and like I really think that's like her possibly peering into other multiverses, and those little red balls of magic are her looking into other universes, and that's how she heard one of her kids.
right. No, I definitely can see that. Um, yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely something there that they were definitely getting you excited for. Um, a Doctor Strange Part Two, definitely opening up that door for that credit scene. Um, yeah, that's all I guess that's all I've got for a little bit of that. Um, so for me now that this is it. This is the one of the closing chapters of at least of the series. So I guess with me, there's a couple of things I wanted to note that we won't completely get answers to. Maybe we'll get answers to later on. But if you notice, we never got any answers on two characters that were in the sitcom part of the universe. We never did see what happened to the husband of
The beekeeper. Oh,
and the beekeeper.
Mr. Hart.
Yep. Yeah. We never saw those two characters get like their resolvement from the crowd. And so yeah, so that's just kind of interesting things. Like they must have were like two different something must have happened, or they either must have been dead or something. But I just thought we never got like any of those characters getting resolved. And yeah, I thought as far as that goes, I was kind of bummed about that. There was no, I wish there was more resolvements from some of these characters that they had introduced into the show, and we don't get any resolvement from that a little bit.
Right. Yeah, especially like I can kind of like Mr. Hart. I can kind of see, like I don't know, maybe Wanda like locked him in like his bedroom, like Dottie's kid, because he wasn't a good actor or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but the beekeeper, like, the beekeeper kind of bugs me because that was a sword agent that came into the Hex, and we never did see what actually happened to him.
No, I was like, because they acted like it was going to be a big deal scene with him, and they never touched upon it. And I was like, well, like, I don't know, did Harkness did something to him? Did Wanda throw him away on something? I don't know. That part was bizarre for me. I was like, for them not to show us anything at this moment in time. I thought that was not something. They needed to focus on that a little bit on that. Let's see, another disappointment for me at this moment, or frustration, I should say. We don't know what Tyler Hayward is yet. We just know that we stopped him. That's a good thing. I mean, like, when Darcy stops him and everything from the characters, but we don't know what he was. I mean, we don't know if he was, right now we're left with that he was just a bad director, or I guess a director who went, I guess, went a different direction. But I just felt like there was more to his character. I thought maybe he was going to be, like you were saying, maybe a Skrull. I thought maybe they would reveal himself as like a demon character or something, which I know it's possibly they still can do that, but they didn't. I just was like, that's it from this episode. That was my one takeaway. It was like, okay, that's that.
I agree with you, and I think even if it wasn't like a reveal of him being a Skrull, or like Hydra, or a list of many different types of evil organizations in the comic books, but like even like we got a little bit of like his motivation, like in that scene where he said that when he was talking to Monica about the blip, like, you don't know what it was like when those 5 years, some some type of trauma, I think, happened in that 5-year period to him to make
Right.
him so sketchy, you know? And if they would have
Right.
filled that out a little bit more, I think it would have been, a deeper character. But yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you on that also. I think his character fell a little flat as a villain.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I was like, boy, that could have been something a little bit more with him too. Let's see. Um, yeah, and then like, yeah, my I guess my major point, through a lot of this part of the episode and kind of going forward for the whole series, it's just they should have flushed out some more of the characters on this. Like, we should have probably got a little bit more on Monica, just a little bit more. More on um uh a little bit more on Wong too. Kind of get these characters more flushed, and then um and I also and like I was saying to you, and this is back earlier too, like, yeah, a little bit more, just a little bit more on the fight scene with White Vision before having that very strong talk. So yeah, I just thought that those were some of the moments that and with Harkness too. Yeah, I also with Harkness kind of flushing out her
Yeah,
character a little bit
yeah,
more too, giving us a little more than what what we were just shown. I thought that was disheartening.
right.
Um, I, it, that they just kind of was like, yeah, again, to kind of prove the point that that we knew that she's a villain, but also kind of a gray villain, that she's not completely a villain. Basically saying not completely a villain. Like there's something kind of good, but she has her own way about it that's um villainous, but again, not quite villain material. So I thought,
Yeah,
um, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. I almost want to see a show about Agatha leading up
Yeah,
to that Salem trial
yeah,
thing, like kind of
I agree.
showing how she got there,
Yeah, well, I agree with you
or
on
or it
that. I
even could just
agree.
be a little mini movie, little little hour and a half movie,
Sure,
just one
sure. I
little
mean,
solo shot.
something. Yeah, something about, not only what was going on with the Salem trial there, but also in general, like, where her character went and how she kind of gets more powerful as she's going on, and how she kind of gets more involved with trying to find Wanda, or happens to find Wanda a little bit. I think there needed to be a little bit more showing of that,
Right.
going into that, because it's very important for that role. But I guess maybe, and this is just me being, I guess,
I think
optimistic. Maybe they'll show a little bit of this stuff in Doctor Strange, part two. Maybe I could be wrong, but who knows? I
yeah.
mean, they're going to have to do
I I
something with
definitely
Agnes.
I definitely don't think we've seen the last of Agatha Harkness.
Oh, no, definitely not. No, I mean, obviously, especially with the line, like, if I need you, I'll get you back. So, I mean,
Right.
that was definitely the key line. That was the that we know that obviously she's going to come back in some form in some part of the movies, but I think right now, I mean, the best bet is probably Doctor Strange Part Two. Um, so yeah, that's how I feel with some of the characters. Just need a little more flush, a little more storytelling. Um, I what else do I wanted to make a note on, um the the real like well okay so you know the okay so now going back to the real ending, the last credit scene with
Right.
Wanda doing the powers, I was a little bit bummed about that's just the way they show everything. And there's two things that I wanted to note. Like there are two characters I wish that they would have showed up there at the end. So when she's out at the out there in the woods, out in a nice country um like area, I was waiting for one X-Men character to show up. And
I thought
I
it was
thought
going
maybe
to
at one moment
be Wolverine.
that is exactly what I thought was going to happen right there at the end.
When
I
when they
really
when they
thought they were going
showed
to show the new Logan. I really did. I thought the new
yeah.
Wolverine was going to go up there and be like, "Hey, how's it going, Wanda? How are you doing?"
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well,
And then we'll be like,
not even that,
you know,
like, right. Whenever they showed the mountains, I was like, I know someone who lives in like Canada with mountains.
mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I thought for one moment there, I thought we're going to see Logan just having a conversation with Wanda. And I'll be like, oh, she did. She brought an X-Men back. Oh, sweet. And that would be kind of like a nice little like little teaser for us to get like, okay, so the X-Men are coming. But yeah, they didn't do that. That was a little bit bummed. And another bummed part was we never got to see Stephen Strange show up.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
having a little talk with her. We thought there was going to be a scene there, and no, they don't even do that. And I thought that was very very strange that they didn't do that. I thought for sure they would have at least kind of been like, hey, Wanda, I had like I've been searching for you for right now. I need your help. You know, something like that to get you excited for the second Strange movie. And they definitely didn't do that. It was just Wanda reading the book and hearing one of her sons, and that was it. And I was like, wait, that's it? Like that's what we're all getting from these cutscenes? So yeah. So the cutscenes, yeah, they kind of just bothered me. Like I was kind of hoping that they were gonna go a little more strongly into something, and they didn't really do that for me. So yeah, I did. Don't get me wrong, I did have my enjoyments of this episode. I thought, overall, I mean, the episode was, again, you know, we had the beautifully shot. Everything was shot very well, but at the same time, I did enjoy the drama stuff, the about her having grief and everything. That was fine. I understood that. I understand that was the big part of Wanda throughout the whole series, but afterwards, I just was a little bummed that they didn't really explore more into the universe as well. I thought they were going to do, and they didn't do that for me, so I was a little bit bummed about that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bittersweet, I guess.
Go ahead, finish up.
Or how do I? You know, I'll just say this: I enjoyed the show for what it was, but at the same time, it just kind of left me like I want to see more, like more of her and Vision with all these characters, like having all the characters have their unique storyline and just being part of this universe and really get to see a lot of things happening. And I guess in a weird way, I didn't see that, but I did see that, you know, for her character and his character somewhat, that they, you know, they got that emotional ending and everything, and that's fine, and that was fine, and that was great. But Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, I was just kind of bummed about not really getting us more invested into the Marvel universe as much as I thought they were going to do, and they didn't deliver that to me through this series as much as I wanted them to.
I think that's fair. A couple things I just want to say is that you know, for a long time, like I didn't give Kevin Feige enough credit for the stuff that he's been pulling off at Marvel. I kind of always hung it over his head that he was involved in X-Men United, the first failed attempt at doing the Phoenix saga. Spider-Man 3, where they cast a skinny, nerdy dude as Eddie Brock or Venom. I kind of always held those over his head. He was a producer on, the Silver Surfer and Final Fantastic Four. Silver Surfer being one of my favorite characters. I feel like he kind of, I mean, he didn't direct the movie and he wasn't like head of Marvel at the time, but he was a producer.
Right. Yep.
And I kind of hold those over his head, but I'm coming to see that, he's as the head of Marvel now, and now he's the head of Marvel TV also. Well, they kind of just merged back together, but he's the type of dude that has his ducks in a row. And so I kind of spent some time and kind of looked over some of the things that he said. That's kind of where I got that thing where he kind of, they plan stuff 5 years out, so they're always looking 5 years ahead. One thing that he said about Phase 4 and this next group of phases that's going to lead up to the next event is that it's going to look different than the first phase. So it's not going to be the same type of like solo setup that we got from the first couple phases, the Infinity thing.
Right.
What do they call it?
Yep.
The Infinity Saga.
Okay.
And another thing he said is that the TV shows on Disney Plus, you're not going to have to see them to understand the movies in the next couple phases of Marvel. So the big stuff is always going to be happening in the movies still. So we're going to get some small movement in the TV shows, but the big stuff is still going to be in the movies. I think this was a character assessment of Wanda, and I think the cool thing that we got from this is that she's not just Wanda anymore. She's the Scarlet Witch, which is really cool. And we got introduced to Monica. Even though I do agree with you, I think we could have had Monica a little bit more fleshed out. But I think we got what we needed, because I think we're going to see a lot more of her. We're going to see her in Marvel, Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel 2. And I think we're going to see her in the Secret, I don't know if it's called Secret Wars or Secret Invasion, but I think it's Secret Wars.
think you're right. I think
It's
it's
a
Secret Wars.
Marvel. Yeah, and I think that's coming out in like 2023. We'll see her there. We'll see her in Miss Marvel. I keep on saying Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, it's. But you're jumping to the point that she's going to be, I think, Miss Marvel. I think,
Right.
Monica. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they also gave her a bunch of other names,
Right.
so who knows? Who knows what her official title will be?
Photon or
right. Yep.
Spectrum.
Yep.
It
could be any of those.
But one of the things that we did a lot of speculation and I think it's easy to get caught up in the speculation, but don't, to anybody listening, because don't hang your hat up on speculation and rumors and stuff like that. Like you saw the tweet that I tweeted out today,
Oh yeah. Yep. I gave you
I don't know how you feel. I what's that?
Oh, I saw that tweet he put on. I put a like on it.
Yeah,
I liked your tweet.
It just right after the episode, it felt like I was reliving. I don't know what your thoughts are on The Last Jedi, but like after I finished it, I saw a lot of people disliking what was going on in the WandaVision finale, and I was like, I've seen this before. I've seen it before. All the speculation leading up to The Last Jedi, who's Snoke, what's Snoke, all this crazy stuff, and none of that happened, and everybody just got. It feels like everybody got mad because what they wanted to happen didn't happen, and I feel like in this day and age where we have easy access to a lot of different information, we're so easily wrapped up in all the speculation, because you're getting it from a lot of different sources, and whenever you're getting it from a lot of different sources, I think the more accurate it feels. So if you have 20 people telling you that Mephisto is going to be part of WandaVision, eventually you're going to believe that like it has to be in there. But
right.
I don't know. I just think going forward, with everything, not even just Marvel shows, with Zack Snyder's Justice League coming up, Dune coming up later on this year, like ease yourself and like just enjoy the stuff that they put out for us and have fun with it. I love speculating. I did it for The Last Jedi, but it didn't ruin my experience. It didn't ruin my experience for WandaVision either. But I just really do feel like a lot of the dislike for WandaVision that I saw was like literally people saying like, nope, WandaVision sucks. There wasn't mutants. X-Men weren't brought into the MCU. Nope, it's not good. It's like, no, like, did you
no, I understand what you're saying. For me, it was like Yeah, I was bummed that there wasn't any X-Men, like one little cameo at the end, to kind of get us excited for the future of X-Men series or movies or whatever they want to do with that. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was bummed, but I mean, I understood, like, okay, fine, they didn't want to do that right away, and I was like, okay, that it's fine. That that's I understand that's not what they wanted to do with that, but I guess what my really one intake is that because they focus a lot of her um getting the power of Scarlet Witch, and with the book of like in the book that they got from supposedly from Doctor Strange, like I would have thought that Doctor Strange would have showed up at least. I thought maybe that was a
No,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. I
I
definitely,
think that was a little. I think
I
that was a little
definitely
bit
think Doctor
disingenuous
Strange.
there, though. Yeah, I think they should at least had, and this is just my opinion on that matter. I just think that he he should have. They should have had him in the series to kind of get you excited for the second movie, and also to basically kind of like say, "Hey, I need your help, Wanda. I sense your powers," or something of the sort. Or maybe he has to defeat Wanda. Something. I just thought not having
Yeah,
him show
I
up
agree with you.
was kind of a bad thing on that.
I agree with you.
But
What I really thought he was going to be in, like, before we heard the kid's voice, like I thought we were going to hear like Doctor Strange's voice,
yeah, yeah, like
or or even
or
like
him showing up,
or even like
like
or even like an astral projection of
yes,
Doctor Strange,
yes,
sitting across from Wanda.
agreed. Yes, I agree with you
Yeah,
100%. They should have at least did that. I mean,
but see, like
man,
the thing that like, oh wait, what?
no, like well, I was just agreeing with you on that 100%. Like
Oh
yeah, they
no,
should have
my
showed.
bad. Something happened to my tab in it. I thought it closed out. My bad.
Oh, oh
But
no, okay.
um well I totally lost my train of thought now. Um Doctor
So pretty much
Strange.
after Doctor Strange, you were saying after he astral projected that he wished that he was in there like that, and you-
Yeah, and see, being upset that Doctor Strange wasn't in it is totally different from being upset that mutants weren't in it, because Doctor Strange
right,
makes like absolute sense to be in it.
yes, yep,
Like
yep,
there's ways that mutants could have made sense, but I think after like episode 6 or something, it kind of was what when did we kind of find out that I guess it was later than that, but later in the season, I think around 6 or 7, whenever the Agatha, like, all along stuff happened, that episode, to me, I was kind of, I guess, off of the mutant train. I was kind of like, I don't see mutants coming. Um,
yeah,
but Doctor Strange totally fits,
yep,
especially when she's
yep,
astral projecting. She's astral
hmm
projecting. She's doing something that we've seen Doctor Strange do. Like that's easy.
right,
I
exactly.
do think that
But
that is a miss there.
yeah, well, I also think maybe they shot something with him going to be in it, and maybe because Elizabeth Olsen said, when she had that little rumor saying, "Oh, there's someone's going to show up," and then they're like, nope, we're not gonna, we're gonna reshoot. We're gonna have a different ending than what she's talking about. So I wonder if they maybe were like, maybe they were mad with Elizabeth Olsen for saying that, and so maybe they just kind of did a different
Uh,
shot.
I
maybe just to not
I
kind of fool
think
with us too. Like,
I think that like okay, so like the Luke level like stuff reveal was like the author of that article's words. Like Elizabeth Olsen actually never said, "Oh, there's a Luke level reveal in WandaVision." Like she said, "There's a cool reveal." I think
uh,
that's like literally what she says, and she's kind of
man,
nerdy. She
yeah,
kind of knows a lot about the comic books, and I
right.
almost think that the reveal of White Vision is what she was talking about.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
because
Yeah, that's
White
even, yeah,
Vision is it's a little bit of a deep cut when it comes to comic books. Um,
right.
so I really do think that Elizabeth Olsen was talking about the reveal of White Vision. Now I and that's what sucks about when they write articles and stuff. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I
it,
agree.
it's all about the clicks. So they
Yeah,
got to add
yep,
some type of flashy headline
yep,
to it. So
yep.
and then
Yeah,
it
that's why.
got
Yeah,
all blown out of proportion.
yeah,
But
yeah. So that's the thing. That's why
but
I try to avoid all those stuff. But yeah, go
uh,
ahead. Sorry.
yeah,
No, I was just,
but
yeah, I was just saying that. Oh, oh.
Paul Bettany straight up trolled everybody though because he did say that there was an actor that he's always wanted to work with that he has a fiery scene with, and it was himself. He just that is that I mean, like I hate him for it, because like we were all like, "Oh, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Patrick Stewart? Is it going to be Ian McClellan? Is it going to be Michael Fassbender?" And it was himself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, no, that is pretty dang good. But again, that also reflects to me, like, even though it was him fighting himself, like him going against, yeah, him vision against vision, him doing the double whammy of that. Again, my only disappointment with that was not allowing that action sequence to really play out for the episode. And even if, here's my other thing too, is like, even
Right.
if that episode, even if today's episode was to go an hour and a half, I would have been fine with that. I understand,
Yeah.
you know, that I get it. They want to keep
And,
it for timing purposes for kids and stuff too, maybe.
right.
But for me though, I wish, because that way they would have flushed out some of the characters today as well for today's episode. I think that they
I
needed
think
to do that a little bit more too. I think they need to let it ride a little bit more than what they did. It all felt like kind of quick, 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 quick. Oh, we got this. Quick, quick, quick. It's
yeah,
over with. And I'm like, well, let the episode. I mean, yes, reveal the answers, but let the episode kind
right.
of take us on the ride a little bit here. It just felt like, oh, wait, this is quick, quick, and that's it. And it's like, no, don't do that. It just, yeah, I don't know. That was my
Or
little
even like it's like
bum takeaway.
if um if maybe I forget how long episode 8 was. I think it was a little bit longer but like if episode 8 was a solid hour and episode 9 was a solid hour, maybe it would have given that chance to let those things breathe a little bit, because
Yeah,
because I think we got good time with Vision on Vision, but I think it like it's deceiving because we're never like on Vision and Vision versus Vision
Right.
for a long period of time in a row. It's like
Right.
always cutting. We get
Away.
short clip, and then it cuts
Yeah.
to Wanda versus Agatha, and then it's back, and then it
Absolutely.
cuts to the kids, and then
Yeah.
so like even if there could have been just a longer stretch with just Vision on Vision, it would
Yeah.
have been better.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know,
mean, because
maybe a little bit of
like,
edit.
well, because also because to me that this is a moment like, at least for Marvel, I think for a good chunk of Marvel history for a series, um, because like when I look at super again, I compare it to Superman 3 because when Christopher Reeve is fighting himself in that junkyard, I mean that was a long scene too. I mean that was like what 10 minutes, 15-minute fight scene
Right. Yeah.
between him.
Yeah.
So that's where I was a little disappointed because when you see that in Superman 3, but you don't really see that in this episode of WandaVision. I just thought like, well, this is history right here, and they did it that fast. I thought, boy, uh that was a little bit disheartening on that because I think that if they would have had that, that would have been as equal to that icon moment in Superman 3, and to kind of give us yeah, just to have it be
Right.
icon for Marvel to do that, and I think that would have been really really cool. But yeah, I thought that was just a little bit wasted there. I thought, okay, well, again, I feel like they've really needed to really kind of let the series kind of go. I mean, they did give us a ride. I'll give them that, but I mean, they needed to give us a little bit more length of time on every episode. I think instead of from three to uh, I think 3 to 7, I think they should have been at least 40 minutes to an hour, just to kind of let these stuff get flushed a little bit more and give us a little more. Maybe the answers would come a lot better, but yeah, they didn't. I just felt like because they didn't do that enough, that it just kind of um did yeah, they didn't quite get those other characters out. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it worked well for Elizabeth Olsen as being Wanda, but to the Scarlet Witch transfer, it did work out for that part of the favor. But I just think for the other characters, it didn't
Oh yeah.
quite
Yeah.
get there for us. That's my only, like, I guess, ultimate gripe or talk about for the series. And yeah, I and it just kind of leaves me up in the air, like, well, what does the future of the series, what are they going to go into the movies? That's, I guess, that's my curiosity, like how much of this stuff is um really going to be played out for the movies, for them to kind of get these characters going. But we'll see. I guess it's
Yeah.
all
Well,
we'll see kind of a
like
game.
on that note, yeah. On oh well, hello Brian. Thanks for popping by. Right. Exactly. I had a little spill just a little bit earlier about not, you know, I think you can still speculate, but I think I said you can't hang your hat on the speculation, um,
Yep.
and you kind of just have to let the show flow through you. But
Mhm.
on what you were saying, Taylor, is that when we were coming into all of these shows, um, well, WandaVision wasn't really on my radar of like, I thought the concept was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be anything, really great, um, when they first announced all of them, the Falcon and a Winter Soldier you know, was my biggest hype for one. I wasn't even really that thrilled about the Loki series. Because at the time I was like, well, didn't he just jump off? Isn't he dead? But you think about it, he's actually in some crazy timeline of his own. But
Yeah.
but WandaVision was like the least one that was on my radar, and it has slowly become one of my favorite shows ever. But my dog is giving me that
In here.
eye that he's about ready to pee on the floor if I don't take him out soon. So uh, we are going to wrap this up. Any final thoughts, Taylor?
No, I think I've covered myself pretty good with these. Overall, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I think I lost you, Taylor. Yep, this old computer. But I guess my final thoughts are, you know, going off what Brian said right there in the chat. After you quit speculating and let the show just happen, it's easier to enjoy. Don't get me wrong, I loved speculating this whole series. I was speculating along with everybody. I think, episode like 3, I was like, Professor X is going to show up at the end of this series, guarantee it. And as I went along, I modified my expectations, uh, um, and even last after episode 8, if you go back and watch me and Taylor talking about it, I was worried about the finale and how many loose ends I thought there were to tie up. But then after talking about it with my girlfriend and a couple other people, I started to think more about what the show was actually about and realized that the show is about Wanda and her grief. And so there is only one loose end that needed to be tied up, and that was Wanda accepting the loss of Vision, dealing with her grief, and moving on. And we got that, and it was. I can't wait to go back and watch the show all the way through. Episode 6. Yep. Trying to think what episode that was. Oh well. Still a great show. It was very fun. I had a lot of fun speculating throughout the whole season. Yeah, I know, Brian. I think I don't know. There it was sometime, I don't know what it was, sometime last week when I was thinking about the show, you know, I something just clicked and I realized like this isn't about the astro engineer. It's not about the mutants. It's not about, like, even though we've gotten hints about devils, like little itty bitty tiny breadcrumbs are not, it's not evidence that something's there, you know. I don't know, it's crazy, but I just wish everybody liked it as much as I did. I'm not saying Taylor didn't like it, because he did like it. He had very reasonable complaints for the show, I thought. Yeah, exactly. It's a good origin story for Scarlet Witch. Um, but I am going at almost 2.5 hours. Thank you for stopping by, Brian. I do appreciate that. I'm glad you loved it. Um, I I always say I'm getting a new computer tomorrow, so my streaming should be better. Um, I'm going to try to jump on some more streams with other people when I can. I'm going to try to do some more videos. And I think I'm going to put out a edited video about WandaVision because I loved it that much. All the references to grief and everything were just, it's just, it's a very emotional show to me. But anyways, yes, have a good night, everybody. Um, I will be back next Friday doing the same thing. Um, but we won't be talking about WandaVision. I don't know what we'll talk about. I'll figure something out. But we will be live next Friday. So I hope to see you then. Everybody have a good night.